We're back, and it's time for preseason hockey at the Centennial Regional Arena. I'm Tyler King alongside Nathan Crosby. Hopefully we haven't forgotten how to do these videos as we get set for Bandits season 2 begin with a Tuesday night preseason opener against the Calgary Canucks. Nathan, there is not a lot we can really say that's insightful at this point. The Bandits, after 3 sets of intra-squad scrimmage games, still have a fairly large number of players, still probably have some difficult decisions to make. But in a general sense, I think this exhibition game is going to give us actually some pretty good insight into what kind of construction both of these teams are going to have roster-wise.
Yeah, well, the work isn't easy, I think, for Ryan Papuano and Scott Cunningham to choose who's going to be on the Bandits this year. There's so much great talent this weekend that we saw at the camp, and boy, I don't know what you look for on a 3-day camp in the scrimmages, but that's a tough job, and so they definitely have the work cut out for them. Lots of great talent here. Though that was on display over the weekend and will be on display tonight for the first preseason game, and it have a bit more feel of importance to it, and lots of decisions to be made tonight, and it's an important game.
Both these teams are going to have kind of similar rosters in terms of what they're playing in the game tonight. A fairly good mix of both veteran and newcomers. From the Bandit perspective, though, I think that dynamic's a little different from usual. I know a lot of fans are going to be looking at guys like Nathan Plessy, guys like Luke Bast, to see what kind of strides they've made year over year, but at the same time, you look at some of the newcomers that Brooks has brought in. We've already done some sort of mini video profiles on them. Guys like Thomas Samuelson, Andronic Armstrong, the list goes on and on, many of whom will be playing tonight. These aren't players who are going to come in and I think need to have too much of an adjustment period, because these are guys coming in with fairly lengthy prep school careers, existing NCAA Division I commitments. The expectations for those players, the new guys, might be just as high as the expectations for the returning guys this year.
Well, you look at the success that Ryan Papuano's had recruiting players out of American prep schools and the success they've had with the Bandits. So Armstrong and Samuelson are 2 cases of that. It'll be really interesting to see where they go from here. But also the returning players, I think, are very interesting. Nathan Plessy coming off a career year for goals. He was second on the team in that category, and he figures to be a huge part of this team moving forward. Luke Bast, who had a tremendous outing in the playoffs for the team, was the top playoff performer. Interested to see with him. And of course, Brandon Scanlon, also another defenseman that I think had a bit of a under-the-radar year last year in the AJHL. Very good in his own end, but also puts up a lot of points. Looking forward to watching him.
Let's not leave the Canucks too much out of the equation, though. Although they're going to be looking to make leaps and bounds in Daryl Olson's first full year at the helm of this organization, I thought made one of the better trades of this AJHL offseason, an offseason in which some teams made what felt like a billion trades and some teams made what felt like none. The Calgary Canucks got a defenseman in Adamu Tanaka and a forward in Justin Jockman from the Canmore Eagles in a sense of creating the kind of depth I don't feel they had last year. So a lot of those guys, I think, will be ones you keep a close eye on for the Canucks. Obviously, they've got Cooper Johnson coming back, who's an AJHL veteran and expected to be a key performer for them. And then it's kind of wide open as to the newcomers that the Canucks are going to bring in here, too. It's going to make, I think, for perhaps a wide open and less structured than you might like type of game. But a lot of the players on the Canucks roster tonight, even the guys who are coming back, are going to have a lot to prove to their coaching staff. Yeah,
and there's a couple other 98s that we'll be looking at. Nick Herringer, who they picked up in a trade, Jack Berger, who spent last year with the Olds Grizzlies. So there's some interesting pieces on this Canucks roster. It's going to be a different looking roster than we've seen in previous years, and it's going to be interesting with Daryl Olson now. He's starting the season as the head coach, not taking over as an interim head coach as he has done in the past 2 seasons with 2 different organizations. So that stability is really going to help the Canucks and Daryl Olson, who is coming into his first season in charge, and it's his team to run with and see what can happen.
All the Bandit games, home games for exhibition this year will be at 7 o'clock. They got 2 more coming up. This Saturday night, they take on the Okotoks Oilers. Next Saturday night, they take on the Drumheller Dragons. But tonight, it's the Bandits and the Calgary Canucks getting the 2018 AJHL preseason underway. Puck drop scheduled for 7 o'clock.